Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Closing Comments here on December 31st. Now, before we jump into our charts here tonight, we do have a quick note. This will be the last closing comments for the week, as the markets are closed tomorrow for the New Year's Day holiday. Everything we discuss here this evening will pertain to Friday's session. After tonight, the next time we'll be talking is over the weekend for our Week 1 2026 Market Watch. So be on the lookout for that over the weekend. But in the meantime, let's jump right back in and see what happened across the markets today. First on the board, we got our February live cattle. Another nice day of upside here. Not a whole lot of range today, but the bulls are pushing this thing in the right direction. We did see this market break out above these multi-day highs here, right around 231. Having a nice strong push up there towards 232.45 at the high of the day. Briefly poking above these multi-week highs, showing the bulls are getting the ball rolling higher here. Next target is the top end of this gap here, where we're going to be closing that right around 232.5. Look for the bulls to take this momentum we've seen the last 2 days into Friday's session and continue to chew through this gap here. Bulls are continuing to trade up here in bullish territory. Good support at our major moving averages. Everything's looking up here for the bulls at the moment. We should see this market continue to climb and begin 2026 on the right foot. We should see some nice upside to begin the year. Look for the bulls to keep on pressing this live cattle market higher. Over to the feeder market now. March feeder is also seeing some upside here today. This market has seen a little bit of relative strength compared to that live cattle market, as it has continued to drift higher over the last few weeks. Each day this week so far, we've continued to put in new highs, filling that gap and getting this thing rocking and rolling to the upside in this feeder market. Look for the bulls to hit the ground running here as we move into the 2026 year. The uptrend is intact, trading in bullish territory, good support at all the right levels. Bulls look to be showing their strength here, and we should get this uptrend moving here and start 2026 on the right foot. Look for the bulls to keep on pushing this market higher. March corn futures continuing to chop up. Not a whole lot to be said about this market, just cutting back and forth here across this 435 to 455 range. We did see the beginning of this week sending this market back down to the bottom quarter of this range. Starting to see this thing balance out here today with a nice tight range right on top of that 440 spot. If we divide this thing up into quarters or thirds, we are starting to see some support down here once again near the bottom end of this range. Look for the bulls to push this thing back up here towards 450 to 455. Keep passing this thing back and forth while this corn market remains range bound. Crude oil prices slipping a little bit here today. We did see, to start off this week, a little bit of push back up into the top end of Friday's range, but we are seeing good rejection here as we're getting in between our moving averages. Good resistance up there between 58 and 59. This market selling off and finishing down here below that prior day low. Looking like the bears are going to start to push this thing over once again and keep this downtrend rolling lower. As we go into the new year, look for these bears to keep on pushing crude oil prices lower. We should see this thing start to slip back down here towards the mid-50s. And last but not least, our equity markets continuing to slip here today. Each of our indexes giving up some ground here as they continue to pull back into their moving averages. The Dow continues to be the strongest of the bunch, as we are still up here near these all-time highs, finding this close here today, here right around that 20-day moving average. NASDAQ continues to be the weakest, as it did close below that 20-day, but we should see some support kind of come in here near this prior swing low and see if this market can continue to defend that 50-day moving average. Look for the bulls to try and offer some support somewhere in this area. If they're able to turn this thing around, they need to ram right here through this 25.8 to 25.9 level, and that should carry the rest of these indexes higher as well. The S&P coming off of an all-time high on a light volume Christmas week here, pulling back, needing to find a few more bulls and buyers down here at their major moving averages. We should see some support start to step in as we get here between 68 and 6,900. Look for the support to start to step in over the next few days here, and we should see this market continue to climb into the 2026 year. Look for this market to begin to balance out, but it should be setting up for a good buying opportunity. Look for this thing to start to turn back higher and keep this uptrend rolling as we head into 2026. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Like I said earlier, this is the last closing comments for the week, so we will be catching you over the weekend with our Week 1 Market Watch. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and Happy New Year's.